How is everybody feeling on this Warrior Women Wednesday? I hope this is all working okay. I'm going to check because, I'm just going to do a quick check to make sure I'm in the right group and to make sure that it is actually working and there is no interruptions. So if you are watching live, please do say hello. Let me know that you're there. Let me know what you're up to today. And if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay, and do feel free to comment as you go along as if you're watching live, and I will reply to you if you have any questions. So what a gorgeous day. Again, another gorgeous day. Beautiful weather. Love the sunshine. It definitely does help lift our moods, doesn't it, when the sun's shining? And it's nice that we were expecting lots of bad weather and we've got some sunshine. So I'm very happy about that. So today I wanted to talk to you about your power and how to access it. I talk about power, I talk about feminine power a lot, and stepping into your power, owning your power, all of that stuff. I'm all about the power. And, I wanted to talk about this because for so long, and I know that a lot of you will have gone through and experienced things in your life where you have felt powerless, where you felt that you've had no power. And by discussing and talking about this today, I'm hoping that this is going to really help raise your self-awareness and give you that real understanding of the power that you have, the power that you hold within you. Now, there is a book called Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukav. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And he talks about power, and he talks about authentic power. So what is authentic power? So that's the power that cannot be taken away. So not your money, not your looks, none of the things that can be taken away. This is about your authentic power. And actually, that is all about your personality, and your personality speaking and aligning with your soul. So I do talk about souls a lot, and I do talk about power a lot. So this is going to bring these two things together. So when we feel powerless and we feel that we don't have any control of the things that are happening to us, it is in that moment horrendous. It feels awful. It feels, you just don't feel like you have any control over your life whatsoever, and it is not a good place to be. And during those times in my life, I didn't understand that I had the power, because everything that was happening as I saw it outside of my control. There was external things that were happening. There was everything that was coming into my life that was causing me to feel powerless. I saw as things that were outside of my control. But it was how I was feeling at that time. Little did I know, I always had this niggle, but little did I know for certainty, because there are no things that are absolutely certain. Little did I know that all of those things that were happening collectively were to actually put me on the path to do what I am here to do. And all of those things collectively, all those failures, all those times I had to get back up again, all those struggles, all the self-doubt, all the losses, all the heartache, all the pain, all of those things were actually to put me on the path to where I am now. So even though at the time I didn't know that for certainty, I didn't have a crystal ball, I couldn't see into the future, I always held on to the fact that these things must be happening for a reason. And now, on reflection, I can see that they absolutely were. Now, your power is unique to you. Nobody else has access to your power. It is completely unique to you. And you may not realize it, and you may not feel it, and you may not know it, but you have the power to do anything, absolutely anything that you want. You have the power to change the world. You have the power to change your life. You have the power to change your financial situation. You have the power to make a difference. You have the power to overcome really difficult testing times. You have that power inside of you. And your experiences, your view of the world, your outlook, your passions, the things that you surround yourself with are also unique to you. And so because of that, because of all the things around you in your life that make you you, that make you unique, your power is also unique. And when we think about power, when we think about, all of the things that collectively have given us power and reflection, have given us that drive, that motivation, that determination, that need and want to make a difference, to have a better life, that power has come from those times of feeling powerless. Because when you're powerless, when you feel powerless, that is when you are actually tapping in and charging, ready for your future power. And if you take a moment now and reflect on things and experiences in your life and times that have been extremely tough and extremely difficult and times that you felt powerless, as you stand now, those things will have given you skills, will have given you knowledge, will have given you experience, all the stuff to help fuel that power, to help you be stronger in the now, to help you be able to stand in your power and own your story and own your experiences and own your feelings and own your opinions and own your values and own your beliefs. Because when you choose to own who you are on the outside, how you look, how you feel and talk about your body, and how you are on the inside, your inner beliefs, your core values, your desires, your dreams, your wants, your ambitions. When you choose to really tune in to yourself, it's like plugging yourself in on charge. When you make that choice to start to listen to yourself and you start to understand yourself, you are charging, ready. You can see, you can feel, if you imagine looking at, at the battery power in your laptop. When you plug yourself in, you can feel that charge. You can feel it right deep down into your soul. And that's when you know you are truly connecting with your power. When you consciously choose to tap into it, to plug in and feel it, just like you can see on a battery, rising, charging, and you feel it in every single part of your being. This is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm meant to be doing. This is what feels right for me. And that is when you know you're connected to your power. Now, there are things that can take the power away. There are things that can drain your power. And that is about being aware of what you are plugging into. So are you plugged into the past? I know for me, I was plugged into the past for such a long time, half of my lifetime plus. such a long time. I was plugged in there because I wanted answers, I wanted responses, I wanted to understand why certain things had happened and why I was suffering the consequence of those actions. Why my emotions were so tightly connected to those things. So I was plugged into there. I was very plugged in to other people, to what other people thought, to what other people felt, to what other people needed me to do, to making sure other people's opinions of me were good. So I was plugged into other people. I was plugged into, my relationships. I was very much plugged in there, making sure that they had what they wanted, they had what they needed. Trying to be the best partner that I could be. And obviously I was plugged into my children in the present. Absolutely, 100%. Making sure that they had the best life possible. But the thing was, I never plugged into myself. I never plugged into myself. I ignored me. I didn't value myself enough to plug into myself. And that all changed when my best friend was diagnosed with terminal cancer. That all changed for me. That was a wake-up call that I needed to get my shit together, because I recognised how short, precious life was. And I'd been shown this numerous times, but it wasn't until that moment that I recognised that I needed to do something. I needed to act on something that had been pulling me the whole time. I needed to do more with women. I needed to, that's what I was here to do. I recognised my purpose at that moment. And even though I'd been working with women in a voluntary environment, even though, from the ages, from my early 20s, I'd been volunteering, helping support women who didn't have any friends or family and had small children. I'd always had that pull. I'd always had that desire and want to do something that was going to make a difference in women's lives. And although I'd tapped into it, I hadn't truly plugged in. I hadn't truly plugged it in and charged myself consciously, because I was focusing on everything else. Now, yes, absolutely. Being a mother, you are there to provide your children with the best life possible, 100%. But aside from that, I was giving my power away. I was allowing people to charge from me, making sure other people were okay, making sure other people achieved their dreams, making sure other people had what they needed. Because I didn't understand that I could be a woman who served and helped women and yet not be a woman who was there for everyone else 24 hours a day. I thought it was impossible. Surely if I'm the caring, loving person that I am and I want to help women make a change in their life, then that means that I have to be available for everyone all of the time. But I didn't see that was me just kind of, plugging everyone else in. Have some of my power. Have some of my power. Have some of mine. And I felt burnt out and drained and frustrated because I never had any time. I never felt like I had any time to charge myself, to think, what is it that I want to do? I was being shown, and I was making decisions that were putting me in environments that were essentially on the path that I am on now. But I couldn't see it because I was too busy. I was too busy, and I was in a constant battle with my past and with things that were happening, feeling like life was out of my control. Now, if you think about, I want you to think about something when we talk about plugging in. And I want you to think about this in terms of having your energy and your power drained. Okay, so would you, if your neighbour knocked on your door tonight and said, little bit of a problem, we think our electric bill's too high, so we just wondered if you'd mind us plugging into your electric? You'd say, I'm very sorry, but I'm not paying for your electric. I hope that's what you'd say. And, you know, if all of the street, if everybody in the surrounding houses from where you live, if everybody surrounding you just tapped in to your electric. Yeah, free electric here. I'll pay for all your electric. Just, you know, everyone bring everything. Charge all your stuff here. Charge your laptops, your phones, your kettle. You can do everything from here. We'll get all sorts of extension leads so everybody can use my electric. You wouldn't do it. But for some reason, we allow our power to be drained by our past, sometimes by our future thinking, worrying about what's going to happen in the future, assuming certain things are going to be happening in the future, having imaginary arguments about things that are going to happen in the future. So we are being drained by past, future, and present, if we allow ourselves to. So how do you stop yourself from being drained of your power? You have to choose. You have to make a choice of where you give your energy to and what you are plugging into. Are you plugging into the information that is going to help you achieve all of the things you want? Are you plugging into environments that give you inspiration, encouragement, motivation? Are you plugging into social situations that are going to build your confidence, that make you feel good? Are you spending your time focusing on you? Or are you instead taking all of you and giving it away? Are you in a job that you hate and you feel is literally sucking the energy out of you, but maybe you don't have the confidence to make the break and make the change? You know what you'd really like to do, but I just don't know if I can do it. Is that where you are? Are you in a, negative money mindset place? Are you thinking and feeling like money is completely out of reach? Are you telling yourself stories that you can't have money, that you can't have success, that you can't have all of the things that you see other people getting? because you are your biggest influencer. And if you learn how to talk to yourself in the right ways, if you learn how to tap into your power, you can literally do anything you want to do. You can make anything happen that you want to happen. The power that you have is yours to either be charged and plugged into consciously the things that are going to enhance you and your life, or plugged into things that are draining your energy, that are draining the power, are taking it down. As you watch it, just as you can plug into the things that are that you feel it right from down, right down deep. You feel it, you're like, oh, this feels amazing. This feels like exactly what I'm meant to be doing. This feels right. This feels good. That's where you're going to build your power. But at the same time, when you're plugged into things that make you feel groggy, that make you feel stressed and worried, the things that make you feel dread, you can feel it. When you get those feelings of every single fiber of your body is just tingling and you feel so incredible, that's when you know you're standing in your power. But when you feel all of that draining away, that's when you know you're plugged into something that isn't serving you well. And it's only from raising your awareness around those things and being very intentional with what you choose to plug into, of literally asking yourself, is this helping my power, charging me up, or is it draining me? Because when you become intentional with your choices, that allows you to stand in your power. Your choices. You can make decisions now. You can choose what you plug into. That's your choice. And when you start to open your mind up to the power that you do have, you can start to make real clear decisions. And I was watching a masterclass with Melanie Ann Layer the other day, and she made a very, very, very strong point in that, you know, if you think about the decisions that you make now, the choices that you make now, and simply ask yourself, is this good for me now? And is it good for me later? That's a very, very powerful way of tapping into your conscious thoughts in the moment. Is it good for me now? And is it good for me later? Because a continuation of having yourself drained of your power will lead to you feeling powerless. There is no two ways about it. It will just continue and continue and continue. And time stands still for no one. Time will pass regardless of whether you decide to be intentional in your choices or not. But by being intentional, by choosing you, then in the future, later, you will see just how much good and just how much change that can bring. Things don't just change overnight. Working on yourself is an ongoing process. That's what I love about it. I'm always learning. I'm always jumping on masterclasses. I'm always jumping on courses. I'm working with coaches. I'm always working on me because I recognize now the value of that. That now I am able to see things, to see my life, to see my time, to see the things that I value in a much different, more different, in a different way. And since becoming more intentional and more focused on myself, my life has changed dramatically. The things that I'm achieving in my personal life and in my business are beyond what I would have ever thought was possible. And just because you don't have that self-belief that you can have anything you want, doesn't mean that you can't have everything you want. There were times when I doubted myself. There were times when I blamed the world. There were times when I blamed situations. Of course, that's part of our journey. Trials and tribulations along the way. It's part of who makes us who we are today. But when you take a moment to really think about the fact that anything is possible, and anything is possible, the only limitations are those that are placed on ourselves by ourselves. And those limitations very often come from past things that you've seen, heard, experienced, the things that have been consistent, that have made you believe and think a certain way about yourself. All of those things can be changed. All of the things that are holding you back can be removed. It's incredible what the mind can do. It's a phenomenal thing. But it's what you do consistently and what the choices that you make. The choices that you make will set you up for where you want to go. So start to be more intentional, start to be more mindful of where you're plugging into and who you're plugging into. And recognize that you have the power to do anything you want to do. That absolutely anything is possible. And if something feels good, if something charges your soul and makes you feel good, then you stay plugged into that. Whatever that is, whatever those things are, whatever environments they are, whatever people they are, stay plugged in, stay connected there. And the things that make you feel shitty, the things that make you feel dread and drained, start taking the plug out. Start disconnecting. Because this life is limited. And it's important to not be fearful of that, but to also not be complacent. So I hope you found this useful. Thank you so much for joining, and I will look forward to replying to your comments. And yeah, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to message me. Sending lots of love. Have a wonderful Warrior Women Wednesday. Mwah!